the man from down under with a little thunder, WWE and Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer, Bushwhacker Luke. I hear something else comes from down under too. The Wrestling with Figs podcast with my mates Chris and James. You gotta tune into this great podcast because Chris and James will give you all the inside info. Whoa! Yay!
Good evening. Welcome, James.
Good evening. Welcome, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Wrestling with Figs podcast. I'm your host, James Thomas.
And I'm your host, Chris Maddock. And I am so late to start. We're 15 minutes later than usual. I'm so late. I didn't even get to change into my Figs Down Under shirt. Hopefully, when my merch arrives from the Merch Perch, the pod t-shirt that I've ordered and a hoodie, I can wear that for each episode. But I've been at work late tonight. You know, us hardworking West Australians in the offices till late for one night a year. And then rushed home just to see you, James.
Excellent. When's your next school holidays, mate? Are they coming up? We've just had some.
4.5 weeks, mate. 4.5 weeks.
Already? You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of the perks of the job.
Wow.
Wait till your kids get to school age. And then you have to figure out what to do with them in the holidays when you're trying to do your own work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can't wait.
It's annoying.
Well,
it's really easy for me.
Yeah, because you're at school. Oh, you're on holidays. Well, that's right. Yeah.
And so is my wife. My wife's a teacher as well. So we just hang out together, and with the kids, it's great fun. But everybody else, difficult.
Tough going. Well, enough about kids. This is about us and our members and about collecting, right? So, firstly, thinking of everyone in lockdown at the moment. Beautiful Port Macquarie's in lockdown too. 2 weeks in, we're doing okay, Chris. I know you guys are. You know, you've got freedom over there, but I hope everyone's doing okay. I'm seeing, there's a lot of negativity out there in the world at the moment. So hopefully tonight we can bring you some joy, some laughs, and some nostalgic feels.
Well, look, mate, over here in the West, we're full of positivity. We're happy days over here. So, it's hard because we see the other side of the country and it's hard. Like when no one wants to see no crowds at the footy. No one wants to see people stuck at home, people being really sick with COVID. It's just a sad time.
It is. So thinking of you all, everyone, and hopefully this garbage ends very, very soon. But anyway, that's enough negativity. Look, we are a collectibles and toy podcast. However, truth be told, I don't really watch AEW, but I think I'm going to start after seeing that video that one of our members shared in our group of CM Punk's return to AEW. That was one of the best, what would you call it, entrances or walkouts, the crowd, the music, the pop. That was insane. Did you see it?
I did, but you know what? A couple of days later, Brock Lesnar comes back at SummerSlam, equally huge pop. I don't know why. Well, so Brock Lesnar comes back right at the end. Sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen SummerSlam yet. Brock Lesnar comes out after the Cena versus Roman match. I don't know why people were so surprised. Like CM Punk, there was plenty of talk beforehand that he was going to come back. But the fact that he did, because there's been rumors for years, and the fact that he did and he was actually there and people going nuts. Brock Lesnar, he comes back every 3 months. 3 months later, WrestleMania's coming up, better go and do a quick run. Yeah. So, but the pop was pretty huge for him too. And Becky Lynch also back at SummerSlam as well.
So did you watch both events?
I've seen only parts of the AEW event due to time constraints, but I watched most of SummerSlam.
And how did you rate SummerSlam?
Look, some people are going to hate me for this, but I thought it was pretty average.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to come up with a 5-point plan. Next episode, I'm going to have a 5-point plan to fix wrestling. And I'll tell you, the first one is shorter matches. Matches are too long.
Yeah.
Go with shorter matches. Shorter entrances. So I find if I fast forward an entrance, I can lose 6 or 7 minutes off the match because 7 minutes of people walking to the ring. Shorter entrances. If you hit your finishing move, the match is over, right? John Cena hits attitude adjustment off the middle rope, smashes Roman, kicks out. You go back to 80s wrestling, Hulk hits the leg drop, you're not getting up. Earthquake hits the earthquake, you're not getting up. $1 Million Man puts you in the $1 Million Dream. That's it. You're out. You're asleep. There was no kicking out. Now, and this is a bit of a rant. Didn't mean to start with a rant. Wrestling. Roman hits his super punch 6 times. Undertaker kicks out. Undertaker hits 5 tombstone pile drivers. John Cena kicks out. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's becoming a joke.
Yeah. Well, I saw one of our members, I think it was Lucas Manita, say that, during these tough times, for a long time, he forgot about let me start again. For a long time, he's forgotten about the tough times because he was so entertained by the AEW and and the SummerSlam event. So that's what it's all about, right? I think it brought the fans back, both events. And I think everyone knows I don't really watch much wrestling, modern stuff now. I'm more of a vintage guy. But when I saw that pop for what's his name, CM Punk, that was really, really impressive.
What's his name?
I will say, look, thank God CM Punk's not doing UFC anymore because he was getting himself pretty badly hurt. And no disrespect, anyone that gets in that octagon has my full respect. But, I think he's better at wrestling than he is cage fighting, put it that way.
Well, you know what? My favourite CM Punk moment, I'd like to share it with you, was when he was hosting Ultimate Beastmaster. Have you ever seen Ultimate Beastmaster?
Never heard of that, no.
There's a challenge for our listeners and our watchers. This week, while you're sitting at home, if you're in lockdown, go on Netflix and look up Ultimate Beastmaster. It's a show that is a bit like a Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
So these people are doing sort of courses, but they're doing it for their country. There's an Australian team, American team, and they all have 2 commentators from their countries. And the USA's commentator is CM Punk. England, by coincidence, one of their commentators is Wade Barrett. So former WWE superstar as well. Australia has the Honey Badger. He's one of the commentators.
Yes.
And I think the other commentator is Danny Minogue, but I'll have to double check. Look, my kids love the show, but it's just funny to see CM Punk doing a hosting role.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that.
Check it out. It's worth it.
Well, how about we get into it, buddy? Let's kick it off with community news.
News.
As always, we will kick off community news by thanking our major sponsor, Go Figure Collectibles. Jeff and the team do a phenomenal job supporting the collecting community down under. All Wrestling with Figs podcast members and Figs Down Under members will receive 5% discount by using FDU5 on checkout, and that is store-wide. Jeff just, he has probably Australia's largest wrestling assortment, and his store is huge. It's like a mini Bunnings. So, support Jeff, support local, and we can't thank him enough.
Thanks, Jeff. And can buy online while Melbourne's still in lockdown. Get online. Pre-order your elites. I've got to do that. So, Jeff, I hope you haven't run out of pre-orders because I've got to get my Slaughter Elite pre-ordered. I'll do that.
You haven't got that yet?
I haven't.
You haven't got that yet?
Do you know what I did get this week, though, James?
What?
My tax return.
Oh, no.
And you know what? When you get a tax return, happy days. You're going to spend it all on figs.
Nice. So next, I haven't not even up to merch perch yet, but next week I expect some big spending.
Sure.
Beautiful. Well, as I said last week, I got my Slaughter from Jeff, and can't wait to get that in my hot little hands. Look, again, thanks, Jeff. Everyone support local, online. Jeff's in his 7th or 8th lockdown. Tough for any small business, so any support that we can sling Jeff's way is greatly appreciated. And now, if you're listening to this podcast for the first time, it is born from our Figs Down Under community. Figs Down Under community is a private Facebook group where we connect the best collectors around the world, Australia, New Zealand, and everywhere else, and we all share our passions. We're a good bunch of blokes and females. And what we call the females? Sheilers. They're a good bunch of Sheilers.
Yeah. We've got some grouse Aussie Sheilers.
Grouse Aussie Sheilers, and it's a great supportive community. And Ripper blokes, that's it. You know, it's it's a lot of fun.
Ripper bloke, James?
Who?
I'm going to make an honorary Australian. I wonder if he's watching. Is the Bushman? He's got an Aussie name, Mark Bushy. You're now an honorary Aussie. Well done, Bushy. I don't know. Maybe he might not want to be an honorary Aussie, but
there's a few.
welcome you. He has done really well. Great score. I know we'll talk about it shortly, but just amazing find this week.
And he continues to dig him up, but we will get into that. You know, you could also throw John Lucas Ray's in that mix. Who else have we got? Aussie John.
I've got Sean NG.
Yep, the fig for Toby. His name escapes me. I'm sorry. Ibnu. He's a legend. All right, let's get into figure news, mate. So there's a lot to cover. So let's kick it off with the Mattel New Generation Arena. It got over the line, and I was look. I knew it would be successful. I could not see it not being successful, but I am surprised that it got to where it got to. I don't even know the final result, but it got well over 8,000 backers, right?
Well, I am amazed it got to 8,500 in the end. But I'm so proud of the collecting community for supporting. Like the Macho was the tipping point.
Yeah.
Like genius marketing. Now, I've got a question for you, James.
Correct.
Do you think that was always the plan to include the Macho?
No, I don't. I honestly believe that. I wouldn't say they panicked. I just think they how can I say this? I believe that they realised quick, smart, and to their credit, they listened. They listened to their supporter base, their community, and they acted accordingly. And I think they nailed it with the Macho. Personally, I have no doubt in my mind if they launched it with the Macho and the no upfront payment, that would have, reached the 5,000 a lot quicker.
Yeah. Have you been charged?
Mate, truth be told, I didn't get one. I didn't back it.
What?
Yeah, and I didn't back it. I said it from the get-go. It's not really for me. I'm excited for everyone to get it. I think it's an amazing piece, but it's just not my wheelhouse.
James, I'm just shocked at you.
Why?
It's disappointing. You're letting down your fellow collectors.
No. I'm in full support of this. Absolutely full support.
This is not about whether you want it. It's about making it happen. I didn't buy one because I want it. I bought one to make it happen.
Oh, I knew it would happen. I said it from the get-go. Listen to all the past podcasts. I've said it. It'll get over the line. Mattel's too big of a company.
Can I tell you a funny one? So my wife obviously not thrilled with me spending nearly $400 on something that I'm going to have to wait a year for. Especially when you described it as cheap plastic that's going to sit on the shelf and do nothing. Anyway, I said to her, I've bought this thing. It's $350. But don't worry. It's only got, I backed it when it was about 1,400 backers. Don't worry. It's only got 1,400.
Yeah.
Never going to get to 5,000. She was like, oh, okay, no worries. And then sure enough, I think I woke up the next day when Macho had been included and it was at about 3,500. I was like, oh, well, you should have to live with it now. So funny time.
You'll get it. But, I think it's an amazing piece. I did see somewhere on Instagram that someone was already pre-selling the Doink and Diesel. They're asking $199. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if you could get that. Because you'd pay. I'm after what's the Gorilla Monsoon? I'm after a Gorilla Monsoon Elite, and I'd pay $100 or $150 for it because I need it. I know it's rare. There you go. But yeah, great piece. But it's got me thinking though. This now opens the door for many more creations down the track, right? I would love, and let me know if you're with me, and all of whoever's listening in now or watching now, let us know what you think. I would love a vintage, original, blue mats, blue ring skirts, old school late 80s, early 90s wrestling superstars arena. What do you reckon of that?
I think it's a good idea.